Good morning, everyone. It is Lily here. So, I decided to start a daily series called Coach's Corner. I'm not 100% married to the name, but I think I'm going to call that from now on. I want to spend the first 5 to 10 minutes with you guys in the start of my day, sharing some of my insights. I have coached hundreds of people from around the world, from all except for Antarctica. I'm still driven to get someone from Antarctica. And in my experience, I have seen that different people do have unique problems, but it all stems from very similar. And I wanted to share some of those patterns with you guys to help you in your own life. And maybe you will recognize yourself in some of these issues I'm talking about, or it could be something that you could help out a friend. Because you know what? In the end, I think we're all in this together. So by me sharing this information, I'm hoping it's going to resonate with you or the people that you love. So that way you can all live a better and more fulfilled life. So today I'm going to talk about getting over mommy and daddy issues. I know it is so controversial, but it's really the truth. The truth is, if we want to have an amazing life, we want to have a fulfilled life, and we have some unfinished business with our moms and dads and the way we were raised, we need to get over it as quickly as possible. So, for an example, in my coaching practice, I come across brilliant entrepreneurs, brilliant artists, creatives, people who want to make a mark in this world. So, one of my clients was an artist, actually is an artist. So he came to me because he wanted to find a way to stop procrastinating, because he's not only an artist, he wants to write scripts. He wants to write these brilliant plays that has never been written before. And it was all around time management strategies, which I have tons of. I could give you all sorts of like calendar scheduling, routine building, all of that lovely stuff. But as we were walking through his process, and as we were uncovering more and more things, I started to reflect back a lot of the things at him. It's like, where do you think this is coming from? Where do you think this is coming from? And it all came down to his parents. His parents did not support his dreams. And that just broke him apart. He was visibly upset, and he broke down in the middle of the call. And he took a call. He took a call when he was going to work, so he was outside in public, and that takes huge amount of vulnerability to break down in front of someone that you have never met, because I've never met them before. This was our first coaching call together, and secondly, to do that in public. And clearly, it was visibly upsetting him. And as soon as we got to that breakthrough point, we started to talk a little bit more about his upbringing. So he grew up in a very traditional upbringing where everybody has a stable financial job. They are not artists. They don't understand entrepreneurship, and he feels very lonely in this. As it turns out, his parents are very caring and loving and didn't want him to feel hurt. He had moved out of home. He's a very young man, and they didn't want him to struggle. They didn't want him to end up homeless. They didn't want him to not have the things that they worked so hard to provide for him. So it came from a place of love and care. There was just this really misunderstanding happening because they didn't understand the world that he was living in. So in this situation, I would assess how close of a relationship do you have with your parents? It's either with your mom or your dad. And how important are they to you? And if the answer is this relationship is incredibly important to me, I love my parents, I know the reason why they're doing this is because they love me too, and I want to make our relationships work. I understand that we're both at odds, but I care about them so much. Which is, in most cases, that's what it is. It's very rare that I hate my parents, I never want to see them again, they're terrible. And that does happen, but I do find that in my coaching practice, that's an exception. It's not the rule. The rule generally is that the parents really, really care about you. So in this situation, I asked him, I flipped the script on him, which was interesting. So what kind of love would you like to see from your parents? And he said, I want unconditional love. I want them to support me. I want them to love me for who I am. This is who I am. I am an artist. I am not going to live a traditional life, and I want them to be happy for me. I want them to know that I think differently than them. And I said, yeah, you could tell them that. And he says, I have said this 1,000 times before, and they still don't get it. So I said, how about you flip the script? How about you give them the love that you want for yourself? Now, knowing that they are very different from you, knowing that they don't see success the same way as you do. So in a way, you are doing the same thing as them. They don't understand your life. You don't understand their life. How about you start to give them the unconditional love that you terribly deserve? You terribly want. How would that look like? And in my experience, I did that with my mom. My mom and I are completely different human beings. She is very happy and comfortable in her life. And I am so much not about that. I want to push my comfort zone and become very, very powerful and strong and ambitious, all of that. And she doesn't understand it. And we would fight all the time, constantly fighting all the time. That I want unconditional love from my mom. And how does that look like? And I started giving her unconditional love. And it turns out that as I was showing her that sort of love, she started opening up a little bit more and started understanding my world and appreciated my world. But it took me doing that first. So even though when we're growing up, we expect our parents to do all the work for us, we expect our parents to give us unconditional love, they give us everything that we need, at some point in our lives, we're going to be old enough to understand that we have to be the one starting the new path. So if the relationship is incredibly important to you and you love your parents and it's coming from a place of love and you're just not getting the kind of love that you want, start giving them that kind of love. And have an open conversation with them if you haven't already done so. So that's on one side. And I don't want to just talk about that. I also want to talk about on the other side of the spectrum, there are parents out there who shouldn't have had kids. That's the honest truth. They were not ready, or they had kids for the wrong reasons. Whatever the case might be, they end up resenting their children. So on the other side, there are parents who are incredibly abusive, who are not kind to their children, who see their children as someone to control. And if you grew up that way, you are going to have a lot of obvious daddy issues. And that's when you need to decide to yourself, is this a relationship that I want to continue? It's a very, very difficult decision to make. And it's not a decision that I ever want to make for anybody. But this is a question that you need to ask yourself. If your relationship with your parents is very toxic, is this a relationship you want to continue? What is it costing you to be in this relationship? And if it comes down to, I never want to see my parents again, or I only want to limit my exposure to holidays, then do that. But have the honest conversation with them. If you feel like it's going to be cathartic to let it out and just really say, hey, mom, the way you treated me as a child was not right. Or hey, dad, how dare you hit a 6-year-old child? This is not right. Have that conversation, but understand you are going to have a fallout from it. They may not understand your point and they're going to go on the defense. So be prepared. If you're going to go that hard on someone, be prepared that might be the last time you ever see them. And are you okay with that? Are you okay with having that conversation be the last conversation you ever have with them? And if that's okay, then have it. Have it. It's your decision, your responsibility. And on the third side is maybe your parents are no longer around. Maybe your parents have passed on and you're still carrying a lot of that burden from your childhood and you still feel like it's hindering you in growing yourself fully, then you need to resolve that within yourself. You need to really let it go. And I know it's much easier said than done. Maybe it's something that you have to write in a journal. You have to forgive, and you don't necessarily have to forgive from meeting someone physically, maybe you have to forgive them within yourself. And forgiving someone doesn't necessarily mean that you are telling them it's okay that you hurt me and you emotionally abused me. It's not that. It's more to do with you no longer resent them. You no longer want to seek retaliation because of things that they have done. And you have to let go of that, because if you don't, what is it costing you? I always come down to this. By us holding on to resentment, hate, anger, frustration, whatever it is, what is it costing you? And to loop it back to what I was talking about earlier when I came on, it's costing you your dreams. It's costing you going out there and having a really fulfilling life. And going back to my client that I was working with, it was costing him possibly writing the best play that ever existed in the world. He had to deal with it. He had to come full front confrontational with their parents, but in a very loving way. And he needed to provide unconditional love for his parents because it was costing him something so important. And I'm going to end with this. I want to let all of you know that everything that I talk about here, the common patterns that hold us back, it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost of our creativity, it comes at a cost of our success, our happiness, our joy. And that's a reason why I want to make it important and come here every single morning. I've not decided what time it's going to be at yet, and share with you my views. So that way you don't have to. You don't have to continue living a life that you don't want. You could start living a full and purposeful life. So that's my piece here. I do want to hop onto the chat, see who's on there, and say quick shout outs to them. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'll be on for the next 5 minutes, seeing how many questions I have, and then I gotta go start work. Let's see who I got here. Okay. Who do I have? My chat? What's going on with my chat? I don't even see it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see. Can you guys see me? Hopefully you guys can see me, because I feel like my chat just got, I don't see it anymore. I know there are viewers in. Oh, it's because of my, oh, yes, I see it. Okay, so hello, Bo from 4 Minute Masters. Good morning. I think it's good afternoon for you in jolly old England. Hello, Tracy, good morning. Evan! Oh, Evan, go Lily, go awesome. We have Mehoville. Hey, Lily. Hello, Mehoville. And Varun Alves, another good one, Lily. Thank you guys so much for the shout outs. It's a pleasure being here. And this is something that I have been wanting to do for a long time. This is something I saw myself doing in the future as I became more familiar with YouTube and doing lives. As you guys still see, it's still very clunky. I don't know how to switch to chat. But I was challenged by Evan Carmichael, actually, yesterday. And he says, how about you do daily videos every single day? I was like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. Yeah, of course. This is something I want to do. And he's like, no, you have to do it tomorrow. And I felt 25% ready. I was like, I don't know if I could do that yet. And but I thought about it. You know what? I am ready. I'm ready as I can be. I am not the best I can be right now. I know there's a lot of growth that needs to come, but I'm ready. I'm ready. And I'm ready to make this commitment. I am going to come on every single morning, including the weekends. The weekends might be a different vibe. I might invite my husband to kind of hang out with me. I do this every single morning, anywhere between 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I have not decided the exact time, but I will be between that window, and I will come with new topics every single day of all the things I've seen in my coaching practice, as well as if you guys have any questions, any ideas, any topics that you want to discuss, please leave in the comments below. And of course, You're all invited to join the chat if you guys have any questions at all. I got to get to work. I hope you guys have an awesome day today. Whatever it is that you're doing, chase after your dreams. Not only chase after them, actually, I want to take that back a little bit. Make them into reality. Take action and make everything into reality. Thank you so much, guys. Have an awesome day, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.